Oh, Scream Factory, there's never a dull moment with you. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode here at Figure Out Films. My name is Chris, as always, and this is the channel where we talk about movies, we talk about figures, and we just talk all things movies. So if you are new to this channel, I highly suggest you click that subscribe button so you can stay tuned with all the cool new videos and movie talk that we have here. Now, like I said at the beginning, Scream Factory, it's never a dull moment. A boutique label, Scream Factory, which puts out cult horror classics on Blu-ray and now on 4K, just had a 4K sale, and there was some pretty good stuff. But again, it is Scream Factory, and for those of you who are new to physical media collecting, Scream Factory is one of the top boutique labels. But I would say when it comes to like the Criterions, the Vinegar Syndromes, the Kino Lorbers, Scream Factory's definitely came down the pecking order just a little bit. And it's for things like not being able to manage their shipments on time. It goes to, you know, maybe sometimes the movies aren't really a sale when it says it's a sale. And also these limited runs to feel that doesn't feel like it's an actual limited run, more like an artificial run. These are all things with Scream Factory and the communities that collect these movies usually have to deal with. But that's by no means, you know, talking crap about the label, because they do put out some awesome stuff. And they, like I said, they did put out a new 4K sale, which they didn't think would be as popular as it was. But I would say in 2024, I feel like most people are hopping on the 4K format more than ever. So I feel like that was a little bit more expected. I did buy some things from the 4K sale that I will be showing off today. But before we even get to that, I did want to talk about my top 5 underrated or overlooked Scream Factory releases. Some of these have gotten 4K releases recently, or these are just movies that I really love, and I don't feel like enough people are aware of their releases, or they don't talk about the releases, and I definitely recommend you snag them before they go to that OOP, that out of print status that we all dread as physical media collectors. So let's go ahead and go into that. Starting off first for one of my underrated movies, I absolutely enjoy watching this. This is The Sentinel. We talk about The Exorcist, we talk about The Omen, we talk about haunted house movies like Amityville Horror, but we don't talk about Sentinel enough. Sentinel is a movie from the 1970s. I believe it's 1977. This movie is directed by Michael Winner, who did do the Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson. Went ahead and did this kind of horror haunted apartment movie. This kind of feels like Rosemary's Baby in some aspects, where basically Chris Sarandon and the other star Christina Rains are in this apartment, and they realize that their apartment is the actual portal to hell. And then you get Mickey from the Rocky, Burgess Meredith as well in this movie to be the creepy old man. You get old people nudity in this movie. It's super creepy. It's about the undead. It's about demons. It feels very unnerving for a late 1970s movie. And like I said, in a world where we had The Omen, The Exorcist, and things like that, those movies get all that praise, but I don't see enough for The Sentinel. I really think this is a genuinely great movie. You get a really young Chris Sarandon, who would go on to do the Fright Night movies. I love Chris Sarandon. This is a good movie. I mean, this is also from the cinematographer who did do the Exorcist movie. And I think this is a movie that you should check out. It's not 92 minutes long. It's not very long. It's a good creepy movie to watch. I highly recommend you look at this and snag it on the cheap if you can. Next on the list is kind of a controversial movie because it's directed by Lars von Trier, who usually has some sort of controversy with his name, but I really did enjoy this movie. It was a surprise release from Scream Factory. It's The House That Jack Built. The House That Jack Built stars Matt Dillon, and basically he's going through the moments in his life as a serial killer and trying to build this house really out of the anatomy of people he killed. Man, I might not be mentally well. And he's also pondering his morality and why he did these things as he's talking to the devil while descending into hell, metaphorically and artistically, because it's Lars von Trier, right? But you do see some graphic content of his murders. There is kind of a moment where he's hunting and he accidentally, well, I shouldn't say accidentally, but he is hunting his family. And it jumps through parts in his life where he commits these atrocious crimes, but it's just so well made, and it doesn't go too preachy, and it doesn't try to like defend Jack in any way. It's just a very interesting look inside the mind of a serial killer, and I think Matt Dillon comes back to form in this movie and really shows his acting chops in this. I picked this up for like $5. at Family Video when that was still around. Check it out if you can. It might be streaming on Tubi, but if you can get this for the cheap, just get the Blu-ray. Coming in next for all those MCU fans, if you loved Sam Raimi and the Spider-Man movies, what if I told you he did another superhero movie in the 90s before the Spider-Man movies? Of course, I'm talking about Darkman. Sam Raimi directs Darkman starring Liam Neeson, yes, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Oscar winner Frances McDormand is in this movie as well. Darkman. This is such a great movie. This is such a 90s time capsule movie. Liam Neeson is a scientist who, from gangsters, infiltrate him, and they basically mutate his body through chemical means, and he becomes the Darkman. Kind of like a Frankenstein superhero, or anti-hero. He's kind of like a Batman in some ways. But Sam Raimi does a great job balancing the horror, the darkness, the gothic, and romance of this movie. And it's a superhero movie, which I don't know how many times I have to say it with the Spider-Man trilogy. He balances all these different themes so well, and the performances on here are so great. Liam Neeson, I mean, yes, he's Qui-Gon Jinn, but man, he's also Darkman, and I feel like people forget that on his resume. Yes, he also is in Nonstop and all those other movies, but he kicks ass in Darkman just as well. I really enjoy this movie. It's easy to watch. For me, there's also the sequels to watch as well. So there's actually a Darkman trilogy. So if you want to step outside the Spider-Man trilogy for a little bit, visit the Darkman movies, I highly recommend you do. This recently did just get a 4K, which I'm contemplating upgrading for, but that'll be for another sale. Coming in next is a genre I absolutely love. I'd love to do a top 10 of this genre at some point, but this is 1966. That is The Plague of the Zombies. From Hammer Horror, The Plague of the Zombies. This debuted as a double feature with Prince of Darkness, which is the second Dracula movie with Christopher Lee. I saw this movie in the theater at the Music Box. It was a great time, but I remember seeing it for the first time with my buddy Daniel from the Cobwebs channel, and I absolutely fell in love with this movie. This is such a good callback to White Zombie, early zombies before Night of the Living Dead, but still has some aspects of it. So The Plague of the Zombies, it takes place as these people are dying in this small town, and they don't know why. And when they go to their graves, the bodies aren't there. And we come to find out that they're being resurrected somehow, and now it's the job of I believe he's a doctor who's kind of tasked with trying to figure out what's been going on. And then there's a sinister plot that's been going on in this small, sleepy town. The zombies in this movie are genuinely creepy. I love the makeup in this. There's a really great dream sequence where they come from under the ground to attack them. It feels very much like Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead in some aspects. Real creepy and not gory, but It's very creepy. It's very creepy. It's very well done. The makeup is great. The ending is pretty action-packed and intense. There's some really nerve-wracking moments in here with basically the Baron of the town and his like renegade of mischievous men, his henchmen basically. So I don't see a lot of people talk about Plague of the Zombies. I think people aren't aware of its existence. And if you're a zombie fan or if you're early 60s horror sci-fi, definitely check out Plague of the Zombies, and I just check it out and get it while you can. I'd love to see this upgraded. I'd love to see Scream Factory do a horror Hammer box set. I doubt they're gonna do it, but still, pick this up. And finally, the last movie on this list is a movie that's so unique but so simple at the same time. That is from 1991, Body Parts. Body Parts is a horror movie where a man gets in an accident, and to replace the limbs that fell off, they're replaced with the limbs of another person. Come to find out, they're the limbs of a serial killer. Now, what happens into the anatomy when you put different body parts from different people? It has Brad Dourif in this, and if it's a 90s movie with Brad Dourif, it's going to be good. But what I love about this movie, it's such an interesting premise of what happens when you do replace your limbs with somebody else's. And it's really gory, it's graphic in a good 90s way, it's entertaining, it doesn't overstay its welcome. This is a very unique body horror movie that doesn't get talked about. I think outside my circle, I don't know many people who've seen this movie, let alone have even thought of a concept of that movie replacing the limbs. And I think you need to see it to believe it. Highly recommend you watch Body Parts. Okay, so after now those 5 recommended underrated movies, let's go ahead and show what I picked up during this 4K sale. And I gotta be honest, I've been very excited. And before that dreaded email saying that it was gonna delay the shipping, I did get it a day early. So let's go ahead and open up what I got first off, and I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap these. Oof. unwrap these while I can. I have Tales from the Dark Side on 4K with this slipcover. The reason I wanted to upgrade this was because a Christian from Planet CHH recommended it. I had the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and I thought it looked great, and I love the cover art, but I don't know, just something that Christian had said was about, the HDR in this movie looking great, the darks looking great, and this is a pretty darkly lit movie, and it's an anthology horror movie, which I absolutely love anthology horror, so I figured, why not if it's on sale? So, first off, my Blu-ray was loose, likely it was only the Blu-ray, and not the 4K. So the 4K has HDR, Dolby Vision. It is a new transfer as well. Let's see if it has alternative. No, it doesn't. And that's the bummer with these 4Ks, is a lot of them don't have that alternative slipcover artwork, but that's okay, because the reason I upgraded some of these Blu-ray movies to 4Ks is I don't care about this. Like, it's the same thing as this one. It's because I sold my Blu-rays and kept the slipcovers that I loved. I love these original slipcovers, and even though it doesn't say 4K on there, it's my collection, and I want it to look cool. So now I have the 4K with the best slipcover. That fits perfect right there. Next is another movie that I upgraded, and that is Return of the Living Dead on 4K. I heard this is one of the best 4Ks from Scream Factory, and I had the Blu-ray for the longest time. I got it as a gift. I just knew this was a movie that had to have its best physical output, the best visuals, because this is one of my favorite movies. And there goes the Blu-ray that just kind of shoots out. So you get two Blu-rays, and yeah, my 4K was, off. So there's that. Hopefully that's not ruined. Let's see if this one has alternative slipcover art. No, this one does not as well, which is unfortunate because this movie has a lot of great alternative art. But I did have the Blu-ray that I was gifted when I was when it first was coming out. So I do have the slipcover here, and won't you look at that? Now, I have this amazing 4K with the awesome Blu-ray slipcover. I don't know, I just really like these original slipcovers, and I'm a sucker for cardboard, so I had to just keep that. So I highly recommend upgrading to the 4K. I mean, HDR, Dolby Vision. Yeah, this is a movie you want the best colors for. So pick that up. Next movie on the list. And isn't it weird that I picked up Tales from the Dark Side on 4K, and the slipcover on the outside wasn't sealed or wrapped, but I have Escape from New York, the next movie I picked up, right here, that has the wrapping over this slipcover. So again, it's never a dull moment with Scream Factory. I did have the original Blu-ray for this as well. I thought the Blu-ray always looked fine. I thought the darks just weren't very good. It looked a little gray. So I wanted to get the 4K for that reason. And because I love Escape from New York. I mean, Snake Plissken, 4K Blu-ray, HDR, Dolby Vision. Yeah, this is good stuff right here. So you get also the HDR. It's a 4K restoration from Studio Canal. So I think they put it out earlier. No alternative slipcover art. That's a little bit of a bummer. But I don't have the original slipcover from the other Blu-ray release. So I will be stuck with the same slipcover with the case. But if you have not seen Escape from New York, I highly recommend you do. Have such a great time with this movie. I think Snake Plissken's one of the coolest characters that John Carpenter's created. It's just such a time capsule. It's just super cool, and it has one of the best scores I think John Carpenter's ever done too. I love that opening from Escape from New York. Going crazy over these kind of physical releases, and that's the steelbooks that Scream Factory has been putting out. So I had to pick up the steelbook edition of They Live. Again, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. I just loved this artwork, and I did have the Blu-ray. I wasn't ever crazy about that original artwork that was commissioned by Scream Factory, but when I saw this, I just thought this was super cool. It's a good color. I've been really liking the 4K releases of the John Carpenter movies and like other steelbooks that they release. So I have the Army of Darkness 4K steelbook as well. I'd like to create a part where it has my slipcovers and then my steelbooks and then my regular Blu-ray cases for Scream Factory. So I obviously want to get the steelbooks up, and honestly, this is a movie you need on 4K. Great colors, great visuals. I think this comes with, yeah, the HDR on there. And it has a Dolby Atmos track, which is great. This movie's loud, a lot of explosions, a lot of gunfire, and iconic lines, of course. So Rowdy Piper and Keith David are in a dystopian future where everything doesn't seem to be what it says because of these special sunglasses that show what the secret message is going on. Very awesome 80s movie. I think this is one of the better 80s movies. I think it gets kind of forgotten on how great it is because of a few, like it has a wrestler in it, you know, but man, if you check this movie out, your jaw's going to drop on how awesome this movie really is. So yeah, I got They Live on a steelbook. And once again, I upgraded this because I loved the artwork commission for the steelbook. And this is one of my favorite movies as well. That is The Fog. Honestly, this is awesome. It has the pirates. It sucks though because the 4K release with the slipcover did have the original poster artwork, which is so awesome as well. But I just felt like I needed to have the pirates on here for The Fog. This is just so cool. I think it matches the color and the tone of like all the other steelbooks, and it's just really cool. And I wanted to try something different. Dolby Atmos track, newly restored mono track as well on this 4K. This is a movie that you need on 4K. This movie has great darks and blacks, and it has good color. It has a lot of purple in there. Please check this movie out. I'm so excited to rewatch this on 4K. It's one of my favorite comfort movies. So the fact that it has this oh my gosh. And then if you look at the back, you get this little lenticular eye of the pirates. So I absolutely excited to rewatch this. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with the artwork commission and the steelbooks. I'm not really a big steelbook person or collector, but I'm excited, and I'm happy to have some of these steelbooks from Scream Factory. So that's looking great. And then finally, the last movie that I did pick up was the one I really only wanted the most. Like, this was the movie I had to have, and I already had bought the hard case for it from a separate dealer for like $5. So I needed to upgrade to get the movie itself. I only had the hard case. So I ordered this, and it actually came with it. So now I have two. That is my favorite Halloween movie, Halloween 2 on 4K. I love this movie so much. I wasn't gonna collect all these Scream Factories. I have 1 through 5 now. I found an amazing deal posted on my Instagram where I bought all 5 of them from a Half Price Books randomly. The only one they did have was my favorite, which was 2. So I was a little bummed out, but eventually now I have it in hands properly where it's supposed to be. With me, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, 2021 4K scan from the camera negative. I'm excited to watch this. I love these Halloween releases. I kind of want to have that box, the box of the last 3 movies as well, just so I can have all this Halloweens together. I am so excited to have this 4K. Even the Blu-ray is a new 4K scan too, which was already a good-looking Blu-ray, to be honest. So very excited. I love having the hard case. I'm surprised they actually were still selling them as part of this sale with it. I thought they were all sold out. But there you have it. What did you pick up during the Scream Factory sale? What did you think about my pickups? What do you think about some of those underrated movies? If I missed any, or you think there's some movies from Scream Factory that I should be checking out, other people, drop a comment down below. Let me know what I need to check out. Like I said earlier, check out the Instagram to see some of my recent pickups that I maybe don't make videos on. Maybe we can chat on there as well. Don't forget to check out which franchise I thought was the best, and also our retro sci-fi movies. If you want to see me do more modern sci-fi movies as a top 10 list, let me know down below and I'll get started on it. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode here at Figure Out Films. My name is Chris as always, and remember, if you are not buying Scream Factory movies, do you really care about cinema? Other than that, I'll see you next time.